non-existent, or at least doesn't have any representation, and they're actively shunning that representation. Like, they're pushing people out. I know what's going on with you and Berkeley. Has that been resolved?
Yeah, I think that, so Berkeley, after the publicity, they said they're going to try.
Explain to people if they don't know the whole story.
Yeah, so UC Berkeley, if you recall last year, I actually spoke there before this happened. I spoke to UC Berkeley in like April 2016, and then Milo was supposed to speak there, and he actually went there, and there was a riot where Antifa infiltrated the community, and there are all these pictures of them bombing things, and, blowing up cars, or setting them on fire at least, and throwing things at windows, and so Berkeley shut down that event for safety reasons. Then Ann Coulter wanted to speak there, and they basically used what they call time, place, and manner restrictions to stop her. They kept saying, well, we have safety problems, we have to figure out how to do the event, and in the end they just canceled it because they didn't have security. And then Young American Foundation sponsors me to go to a lot of these campuses. They said, we want Shapiro to come. And again, I spoke to like a year and a half ago, and they gave them 2.5 months advance. And Berkeley said, well, we have no venues available. And so this seemed to be another coup.
Block and restrict any kind of videos that are about religion or that could be deemed offensive, which is almost everything.
Yeah, that's right. Anything that's remotely, anything that's interesting is going to be offensive to somebody.
So it won't be monetized. It also won't be in the
promoted
videos of interest, or
I know they did this to Prager University as well. They blocked like 10 of their videos a couple of months ago. So it's this is nasty stuff. Listen, YouTube's a private company. They have the right to do what they want, but don't proclaim that you're a free speech promoting institution. You're going to block people like Jordan Peterson. That's it.
Well, the problem is they're not blocking things that are offensive to other people. They're not blocking certain things that are representing Islam in a positive light.
That's right.
Or there's a lot of weirdness with
this side of the aisle. I actually separate people who are liberal from people who are leftist. So when there are people who try to ban speech, I call them leftist, and if they are not interested in banning speech, then they're liberal. They want bigger government, they disagree with me on politics, but they're still willing to have a conversation, they want an open forum. People who are on the hard left think that it's actually an insult to their identity to disagree with them, and this is what I experience sometimes on campus at Cal State LA, which is near Riot when I speak. University of Wisconsin, where people still on the stage and stand in front of it, won't leave. Penn State, where we have, again, another near violent incident over at Penn State, or DePaul, where they actually banned me outright. So sometimes you get this routine from people who think that they conflate their viewpoint with their identity, and then if you have a different viewpoint, you're denying them their humanity. And it's like, no, I'm not denying. I just think what you're saying is dumb.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point, is that they have their identity completely connected with their ideology. And when
these things in the world just trigger some idiot college kid who doesn't know his ass for home for him. And what's hard to do is actually discuss issues with somebody who's intelligent enough to make the point. But the level of hysteria on the campus has really increased. I now have to travel with 2 members of security to every campus, just because you don't know which campus is going to go off. I never had to travel with security before. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
How long ago did this start happening?
Well, February of 2016 is when I started traveling with security. So I spoke to University of Missouri. They had a big blow-up at University of Missouri, Black Lives Matter, taking over campus offices and suggesting that there's some sort of big racism problem at Mizzou, which is just ridiculous. I did a speech there. And then the next time I spoke was Cal State LA, and they brought in a couple of security guys, and I was like, what do I need security for? There's a hierarchy in terms of viewpoints that should be acknowledged, because you're the creators of this vast white supremacist system that keeps down everybody else. If you're a black woman, you're at the top, right? If you're LGBT, you're at the top. If you're a white guy and you challenge the viewpoint of a black woman, your viewpoint is an attack on her identity, and therefore she has the right to shut you down. And so the idea is that your words are violence to her identity, and therefore she has the right to react. This is the term you hear on campus a lot, is microaggressions. That's the idea that my opinion microaggresses you. Now, even that terminology I think is really stupid, because normally in regular life we'd say that's insulting, they said something I don't like. The terminology microaggression suggests aggression, like I'm actually doing something aggressive to you, and the rational response to someone aggressing you is to use physical force in response. So you start to see a more violent response. I think that it's been growing in our politics. I think there's a reactionary side on the right that's growing. If there's an identity politics on the left, it says, black identity politics, gay identity politics, female identity politics. I think you're starting to see in some areas of white identity politics, it's almost formed in response. Like, okay, well, if everybody else gets to have their identity politics, why can't we defend ourselves on the same ground? I hate that shit. And I think it's terrible.
I hate that shit. That woman, the
Melissa,
yes.
Yeah,
whatever her name was. Yeah. When you see her video, when you see her on video saying, "Can we get some muscle over here?"
Yeah,
like this is fucking insane. Like you're telling a photographer, and by the way, a minority, Asian man taking photos of a public place that you've created some safe space. But it's
well, we were fighting earlier, and now we're back to it again. It's over every little thing.
It's also wrapped up control.
We used to bicker, yeah.
Behavior, control their vernacular.
Now it's like it's a full-on fight about the littlest fucking thing.
How much you give in to groupthink. It's weird.
It's scary. And Jonathan Haidt,
I'm sure that's not all of it.
Over at NYU, did a really good piece for The Atlantic in 2015 about this phenomenon, this kind of safe space, trigger warning phenomenon, this idea that you must never be forced into a position where someone has an idea that opposes yours. And what he said is it basically makes people crazy. You know, it actually makes you crazy. That the idea in psychology is that if you have a chain of thoughts leading to a bad outcome, if you're depressed, then you have a chain of thoughts leading to a bad outcome. The way that psychologists deal with that is this, and they're so far left that they've actually made common cause with people they hate, right? So when they talk about safe space, in Missouri, you had all these black dudes protesting, and they actually said, we don't want white people to think like us and who want to help us in our safe space. We feel insulted by that. I just thought to myself, look, the KKK agrees. Like, if you want to do safe spaces for separate races, I can find some Jim Crow racists who are totally up for that from like 1962.
Well, there's the really bizarre statement that I've heard over and over again. Black people cannot be racist against white people. They don't have the power over white people.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Think
Wow.
of your brother's mattress goes on.
It's inane. I mean, it's an inane statement. This idea that you have to have power in the superstructure in order for you even to be racist. I can understand the argument if they said, look, you being racist is not connected to racist action. If you don't have the capacity for action that affects people, then your personal racism is not as important as the racism of people in power. Then at least it's an argument. But the idea that you can't be racist at all if you're black because black people don't have enough power. First of all, the idea that black people have no power in the United States is utterly crazy. I mean, it's utterly crazy.
Well, especially when it was going on what?
Well, Obama was president, the Attorney General was president. And I always said this about Baltimore. We kept hearing it, Baltimore. Right, where they had the riots, they riot. And they were saying, well, Baltimore PD, they're cracking down on black people. Again, the chief of police was black, the majority of the city council was black and Democrat, the district attorney who was prosecuting the case was black, the majority of the police department was minority, the Attorney General of the United States was black, the President of the United States was black, but apparently the majority of the city of Baltimore is black, but apparently it's the white guy's fault. At some point you're going to have to make your ideas actually work in concert with reality. I can't do this with
if what they're saying, we don't fit into a category, and therefore we get to invent our own plurality of categories. It's not logical and that isn't how it works. You get an infinite number of categories, and that's what's happening already online.
One of my favorite stories came out of an all-girls university in Massachusetts, where a group of women, they were trying to pick a president of the student body or whatever, and one of the girls who went to that school decided that she identified as a man, so she changed her name, and I don't think there was any hormones or anything involved. I think she just changed her name. She called herself Masculine of Center Genderqueer, changed her name to a masculine name, ran for president of whatever the hell this is.
I think it was
Won,
William.
yes, right. won and then was denounced by the rest of the class because now she was a white male, so she was a part of the patriarchy, and she was a part of the whole problem with society, and that she should not be allowed, or he should not be allowed to take that position. Which I just,
Well, that's a good example.
we
of
read it on air, and I couldn't stop
Right,
laughing.
right. Well, that's a good example of chaos that ensues. You start to go apart standard categories. There's a chaos in between categories that's made of the infinite multiplicity. That's why you see too the LGBT rainbow. They're getting caught in their own metaphor. So there's an infinite number of